G'day YouTube viewers, welcome back to my channel BT73. Today is the 8th of April 2022. Coming to you at the town of Heathcote, Victoria, Australia. Nice little field up here. Today is 22 degrees, humidity at 50%, wind very low, cloudy all day today, and we're going to be flying 3 rockets. It's going to be the Atlas. We found the Atlas rocket not far from that tree over there, so we found it. Upon impact we had a broken fin, so it's been re-glued, hot glued in place. You'll see a nice flight today. We don't think the clouds are that low, so we can't see it. Looks like the clouds are pretty high, so we should be able to see the rocket at its highest altitude. So we got Challenger 1 and Challenger 2. We're going to be comparing them both, as we haven't done the side-by-side test on either of them. So today is that day. And as you know, our first flight, first flight could not perform that good because of the cannon's still cold. This is why I'm launching Atlas as our first launch of the day. Once the air cannon warms up, then we should be getting nice good altitudes. So to make everything fair, as I said, Challenger 1 and 2 will be launched after Atlas, so the air cannon is nice and warm inside and we don't lose power on our first flight. But we're going to find out how Atlas will go on its first flight today. We're going to set our compressor up at 95 psi as per usual, and we'll see how we go with our first launch. Should be able to track it. Black rocket, 3 black rockets with a grey background. Our battery is also fully charged today. We can get enough power. Okay, here we go with Atlas first flight today. In 3, 2, 1. Extremely high. Not bad. Nice and comfortable. Good landing. And touchdown. Nice good flight on that first performance. Very nice. Extremely high. Very pleased with that. On the way, as I approached the Poji, I saw it was starting to drop down like Falcon 9 with Elon Musk, and then he just made itself horizontal. Good thing I wasn't losing too much height, so I can get as much flight duration as I possibly can. Now that the cannon's warmed up, it's time for the serious rockets. Challenger 1. Everything's been inspected before our trip to here. See how we go at 95 psi. With the Atlas rocket, I could see it, no problem. Every second of the flight, very nicely done. Let's see how we go with Challenger. In 3, 2, 1. Not as high at Atlas, not as high. Coming down nicely. And touchdown. Right next to Atlas. Right next to it. Okay, Challenger 2 on the pad. Can you do better than Challenger 1? This is it. We'll find out very soon. Is Challenger 2 better than Challenger 1? Let's find out in 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah, definitely much higher than Challenger 1. Definitely much better. Nice and slow on the way down. Coming to a nice landing and touchdown. Couldn't get better than that. So Challenger 2 did fly much further and higher than Challenger 1. Just to remind everyone that Challenger 2 does weigh at only 90 grams in weight compared to 100 grams on the Challenger 1. So she's a bit soft in the fuselage, but I don't see any wear or tear. Feels like there's something there, but there's no sign of actual tear or anything. Top section, pretty good. And here's the other two, landed right next to each other. Challenger 2, everything intact, not as soft as Challenger 2. Oh, looks good. I'm glad I put an extra insulation tape on the top here. Nice cone's good. Atlas weighing at 95 grams. Intact. Being a plastic tube, there's no sign of cracks or breakages, no ruptures. Nothing's bursted. There's no burst. No, she handled quite well. So, once again, get those timers out and we'll time Atlas, Challenger 1 and 2 Challenger 1, as you saw, didn't go as high as Challenger 2. So it's got some really interesting results here today. Very surprised. There's no nails on Challenger 1. There are nails on Challenger 2. So not as high as Challenger 2. Challenger 1 might have something to do, and not as high, of course. You might have something to do with this, just slowing it down on the way up. Could be causing a bit of drag. If we took this out, I'm pretty sure it'll probably match the same performance as Challenger 2. So there you go for those two results. So there's not much else to say around here. We can see the clear winner. Once again, if you want more height, don't put this, because it's just going to cause a bit of drag, a fair amount of drag, and you're not going to get much altitude. Just keep it simple. Just if you see that it doesn't need it because it's causing drag, then don't put it. Something as simple as just putting 4 fins is good enough to get the altitude you need. Any extras is just going to slow it down. If you put nails, you might give you a little bit more altitude due to you getting more momentum as it's going up. Just looking at this thing weighs, Atlas weighs 59. I had the rocket upside down. Looked like a 95. So Atlas 59 grams, did extremely well. So the question here now is, where to from here? Is this the end of my program? Maybe. Very hard to tell. It's been 2 years doing this project. I think I've pretty much covered everything that I need to cover in this episode and the previous episodes for the past 2 years. You've seen that even with 50% humidity today, it still did quite well. I'm surprised. So looks like the temperature is a bit of a factor. Feels like a 22, around the 20 degrees mark, around the low humidity, mid humidity. She flies great. Once you hit that higher temperature, the 30s, the mid 30s, with a high humidity, you're not going to get much altitude. I know that. But if it's a low humidity but high temperature, there's still a chance that you can make it at high altitudes. So just remember that for anyone who wants to build something like this and have a bit of a challenge. You can challenge me, you can challenge yourselves. A great hobby, something different. Much cheaper than running the Estes model rockets or even water rockets. Not as technical as the water rockets. No need for a parachute because all are landing horizontal as they should, or just backsliding. And you see these rockets have performed extremely to my pretty much performed to my expectations. But once again, don't put anything extra that you don't need because you're just going to cause drag. So keep it simple, keep those fin designs simple. Make sure when you balance your rockets, measure the length and just go back about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches back. but you don't want to go too far back, as you don't want it to land like the Falcon 9 rocket. You might not even crush the rear end, but you probably might have some sort of a negative result as a result. The only way to land something like this is a helicopter style, or just hanging off blades on the side, and as the rocket's coming down, the blades will just come up. Doesn't have to spin, as long as it causes drag, it'll come down the way it should. The worst thing you can do with a rocket is to nosedive, because as I said, my program is not about ballistics, it's all about keeping things safe. And I think there's nothing better than landing these rockets nice and horizontal. So as you saw, brilliant, good day, couldn't ask better than this. You can see there's some dark clouds up in the hills there. There's not much wind to speak of, just a slight wind. Probably expecting a bit of a updraft because of the humidity. Not sure, but whatever it is, it's working, and it's working well. So we'll see if there's going to be another episode. If not, that's it, I'm signing off. But you can never say never, and we'll see what happens next time, if there is a next time. So I'm not signing off, I'm just saying see you till next time. So bye for now.